All right, we saved the best for last, Chris. Jake Paul. Jake Paul Anderson Silva is happening October 29th. Are you giving Anderson Silva a shot in this fight?
A shot? I am predicting he is going to end the Jake Paul train. This is it. I'm telling you, that guy. I called the fight when Silva fought Chavez Jr. down in Guadalajara, Mexico. I mean, the guy's not good for an MMA fighter. He's a good boxer. He looks like a seasoned professional in there. Takes his time, knows his way around the ring, had defense, was rolling his shoulders, was picking his shots, and then he completely ices Tito Ortiz, puts him to sleep face down the next time he fights. I mean, the guy, he's starting to come into his own. I thought there was no way he was going to beat Chavez Jr. I was super impressed with his ring generalship, his savvy, his power, his durability. That was what I was worried about. Was he going to take the punch? Chavez Jr., say what you will about him, the guy could punch. He was strong. He was a great body puncher. He used to bust guys up in middleweight and super middleweight, but nothing. Silva took it, had no problem taking the shots, even to the body. Came back, was winning, out foxing him in every way. So I think Jake Paul, he's in way over his head. This is a big step up for him. And again, he's not fighting a true boxer yet. He's the only fighter boxer I've ever fought, who has been undefeated with 5 fights and never fought a boxer. But this is pretty damn close, and I think it's too big of an ask.
So the Jake Paul era comes to a close.
Over. Silva beats him, and then he can go make YouTube videos or whatever he does.
Well, why did he pick him then? Like, I say boxing.
He's old.
The video yesterday. He's old. He is 47. I mean, it's like the Coming to America scene. He's 147 years old. Like, I posted a bunch of stuff on Twitter, and I love posting stuff on Twitter about Jake Paul because nothing riles up or triggers middle-aged men more than Jake Paul in a boxing ring.
Middle-aged men are the guys responding?
Yes, people calling me names. I had to block. I don't block people. I blocked so many people this week simply by saying, like, this is a step up. This is a step up for Jake Paul because that is saying that Anderson Silva is damn good at boxing. Also posted a video of Anderson Silva's highlights. And I said, boxing ain't a hobby for Anderson Silva. Turned pro in 1998. Has a deep love for boxing.
Deep love.
When you were there in Mexico, yep. Canelo was there. Afterwards, yep. Canelo gives a handshake. Like just so Canelo can put the dagger into Chavez even more. Like Chavez loses to an MMA guy who's 46 years old, and then Canelo goes in the ring and gives him a handshake. He loves boxing, Silva. Yep. He just happened to turn to mixed martial arts and become arguably the greatest to ever do it over there. So this guy has the boxing pedigree. You can watch the highlight video. He has the movement in there. He also has been training in boxing for the last 3-4 years solely on that.
Yeah.
You can't say the same for Woodley. Cannot say the same for Ben Askren. Jeez. Nate Robinson, stop. So we have a guy.
Woodley was coming off the couch, and who's the wrestler?
Askren
had hip surgery. Like, he had a replaced hip like 2 months before the fight.
That fight was a joke.
A joke.
Anderson Silva can move in there. Anderson Silva throws punches. Like, threw 134 punches, Chris, in the last 2 rounds against Chavez. Yes, Chavez during the last 2 rounds was probably, conceding defeat, or he wasn't giving back much. Jake Paul has not seen volume. Woodley threw 20 punches around. You understand how bad that is? Like, Jake Paul throws 20 punches around. That second Woodley fight was a bad watch. There's no doubt about it. He just happened, Jake Paul, to land that knockout punch, and that propelled him to where he is today, where he's calling the shots. But this is a step up. This is a step up. Let me ask you this. Do you believe that is Chavez Jr. better than Jake Paul right now in boxing terms?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Chavez Jr. was a legitimate good fighter. He was a world champion. I mean, he fought some of the best guys. He fought Sergio Martinez. The guy is for real. He could fight. His problems are outside of the ring. And that, obviously that bleeds into the ring. But in terms of his skills and what he did in his career, he's a very good fighter. He's a top-notch fighter. And even when he fought Silva, other than completely gassing out, he didn't look bad. I gave him the first round. After that, he completely fell apart. But in terms of skill set and what he's done, I mean, you can't knock him for that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like people are just programmed to not give Jake Paul credit. Like, you got to give him credit for taking the fight. You got to give him. If you're picking Silva to win, that's a dangerous call. Like, Jake Paul does not have to do this right now, because I've asked him this. I've said, Conor McGregor is the payout for you. Like, you're not in boxing to become a world champion. You're not in boxing to build a legacy. You're in this sport because you want to make money. You figured out a way to enter a sport where you can maximize your popularity for one night. Where else can you do that in this world, but outside of like doing a concert or something where you're a one-man band? So Jake Paul has maximized his popularity and has entered the boxing world, which, as you know, has a very low entry point, and has found a way to work his way to the top. You almost have to respect it in a way. But I asked him, I said straight up, like, Conor McGregor is the payout for you. Like, that's the big one. Like, not Canelo, not Usman, not Nate Diaz. I mean, those, you can make a lot of money doing those fights too, but McGregor is the fight where you can make like 60, 70 million, something absurd. Like, so why is he taking on Anderson Silva? This is what I don't understand. Like, that's the other side of the coin, where this is where I get the haters. Wherever I post anything about Jake Paul, they say these fights are fixed. Silva's going to take a dive. They have an agreement where you can't knock him out. Like, that's nonsense.
Nonsense. Like I said earlier about us fighters being competitive, these guys are not doing that. Silva especially. Silva wants to win. Yeah, I spoke to Silva at the fighter meetings in Guadalajara, Mexico. You know, I saw the way he was around fight time, around all the press. I mean, that guy he's trying to be something in boxing. Like, he's not just looking for a cash out. He loves this sport. He has a passion for it. There's no way he's taking a dive. He wants to fight. He wants to beat this kid.
I also